256 of the world's best players started the week. 240 of them have been sent home in what is already one of the most fascinating editions of the UK Open Pool Championship. It is all to play for.
Here we go.
This has got the makings of being a classic.
We're brothers in arms, gonna dig your grave. Never stop till we see you break. See the color of the wall paint.
Simply brilliant. Is there no stopping this man? This phenomenal talent. What a performance. It wasn't just the win, it was the way it was achieved.
A very warm welcome along to the Telford International Centre for Day 5 of the UK Open Pool Championship. And this tournament is wide open with 3 former champions having exited the competition already. We will have a brand new name on the trophy come tomorrow evening. For now though, it's all about the last 16. And it is very much knockout 9-ball with spots in the quarterfinals on the line. Yes, great to have you with us for what promises to be an entertaining afternoon session here in Telford. There have already been plenty of twists and turns so far this week, and we reckon there might just be a few more in the quest for the UK Open title, and with it, a fairly cool $40,000 first prize. Delighted to say that alongside me are Carl Boyes and Jeremy Jones. Good to see you, gents. And Carl, it has been a week, hasn't it, full of surprises?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously we've had YouTubers, podcasters, radio hosts, and even the man that makes it all possible, Barry Earn, this week. So it's been an eye-opening week so far.
3 former champions have exited the competition, Jeremy. We're going to talk about them in a little bit more detail in a moment. But how much is that down to do with the ever-increasing standard of the World 9-Ball Tour?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the best players are the ones that make the next ones down kind of rise, and we've seen that happen on the World 9-Ball Tour. I mean, we have 3 Vietnamese players into the final 16. We knew that was a numbers game, but I'll tell you, if you're not on your game, you're going to get beat.
Yeah, and form is very temporary in this sport, isn't it? Well, it is day 5 of the competition here in Telford, although this is our first day live on Sky Sports. And Ashley Wilmot was here picking up all the atmosphere for us yesterday.
It's been a brilliant week here so far at the UK Open. We're in its 4th staging. This year, we're at the Telford International Centre, and it's already been quite the pool party. Let's head in and take a look around. We're joined by Marcel, one of our referees here at the UK Open. What have you made of the standard here?
No, obviously it's quite obvious that especially younger players, more and more coming through, which is great to see, and this is all from all around the world. Makes pool just such a global sport, which is fantastic to see.
Fans have travelled from far and wide. Ron Tilinsky here has travelled from Ohio. Huge commitment from yourself. What makes the UK Open so special that you've had to travel all the way from Ohio to be here this week?
My daughter. I come to see her once a year, and I says, anytime I go any place there, I look at all the pool tournaments or anything that's happening anywhere, and I said, this is the place to go, so that's why I'm here like that.
2 birds, 1 stone. Happy days.
Happy, at peace with my performances today. I only dropped 3 wrecks, so yeah, I think it boosted my confidence a lot.
In the beginning, I was struggling a little bit. I was making some mistakes that I wouldn't want to see, but in the end, throughout the middle and the end, I was playing dead perfect, so I couldn't be happier.
This week hasn't been without its drama. We've lost all former UK Open champions, including Robbie Capito, Joshua Fuller and Eklund Catchy. One man, though, that you should all keep your eye on is the home favourite, Jason Shaw.
Obviously, it'd be amazing to get my hands on that trophy, on any trophy in that fact. Hopefully this week I can do some damage, play my A game and give the fans what they know they can see.
We started the week with 256 players. We are now down to the last 16. And one thing we know is there's going to be a brand new name on this year's UK Open trophy. Question is, who's it going to be?
Well, that certainly is the big question, isn't it? Here is the last 16 then, and here's the schedule for this afternoon. 4 tables in action. Our focus is on table 1, but we will keep you up to date with what's going on those outer tables. And first up on table 1, it is an all-Reyes Cup teammate clash, as Aloysius Yapp takes on Carlo Biado, and then Jason Shaw is in action a little later on as he hunts his first UK Open title. And given how some of the top players have fallen this week, he might just be fancying his chances a little bit. Also, keep an eye out on table 3 first up this afternoon. One of the other remaining Brits in the competition is Fraser Patrick. He actually knocked out former champion Eklund Kachi earlier on this week. So fascinating encounters across this arena. Like I say, our focus is on table 1, but we will keep you up to date with everything that is happening throughout this afternoon. And guys, let's just take a little look at some of those former champions that haven't been able to maintain a run here to the last 16. It has been so difficult, Carl. Firstly, for Robbie Capito, the defending champion, who has had a great couple of years on the World 9-Ball Tour.
Yeah, this was always going to be a tough match. You know, Aloysius Yapp is a phenomenal player. Reminds me a bit like Wu Cha-Ching, you know, the youngest ever World 9-Ball champion. So smooth on the cue. He's got a really good game. He had a few favourable rolls in that match. It just shows you how tough it is to get through to the last 16.
How shocking was it for Robbie Capito to exit when he did, Jeremy?
Yeah, it was pretty shocking. I mean, he's a very confident player. We all love watching him play, and he'll be back soon. He had a great PLP not long ago, and you know, it's just one of those things in 9-ball. And you know, you're facing Aloysius Yapp, who's now, I think, our top seed left in the final 16. So it's tough running out there.
We had some huge drama last night, and Carl, you were lucky enough to be in commentary for this one as Tyler Steyer bested the reigning European Open champion Joshua Filler. This was a great game.
Yeah, it's one of the best matches I've seen on tour. You know, Joshua Filler always brings his A game. He played really well in the match. Tyler was actually really up for the match. He said early on in the day he wants to play Joshua Filler, and you could see it. And both players played great. They broke great, and it was one of them where it weren't like sort of easy runouts. You know, sometimes you can play a match where you've got road maps. That's where all the ball's over the pocket, and you might clear up, Hannah.
Oh, thanks.
But you know, Tyler Steyer was up against it. He kept pulling out the big shot. It was a brilliant win.
It's remarkable as well, isn't it, Jeremy? Because Joshua Filler won the European Open just a couple of months ago in supreme fashion.
Yeah, absolutely. It seems like every time he's put his cue together this year, he's holding the title at the end of the week. And Tyler beat him in a big Mosconi match a few years ago. He said he wanted to play Filler in that Mosconi match at the start of the day, and I said it before that match that I think Tyler's up for it, especially he's been building the entire week, because Tyler was there was a lot of struggles at first.
Yeah, it's such an interesting competition this year. Also as well, for Fraser Patrick, one of just 2 Brits left in the UK Open. And Carl, he got the better of Eklund Kachi, a former champion of this competition. And Fraser, I mean, is there a chance that Eklund Kachi slightly overlooked his opponent in this one?
Possibly, you know, he's a very relaxed character, he's catchy, you know, he's a big time player who's playing on one of the outside tables. But you know, Fraser Patrick's a former snooker professional. You know, he's been as high as like 65, I believe, on the tour. You know, he's been playing pool for about 3 years. He's been learning the trade, learning the art, and you know, he's had some big wins, and he'll be delighted to be through to this stage.
And that says so much as well, doesn't it, Jeremy, about we're seeing more and more now players who've been on the snooker tour coming over to the World 9-Ball Tour. And it takes a little while to get your eye on this game, but once it clicks, it clicks.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the snooker players at first, when they put their eyes on 9-ball pool, they think it's easy, and I think they find out quickly it's not. But they're great cueists, and as long as they keep doing it, keep paying attention, they're going to improve. And don't forget, Mr. Patrick won another match after beating Eklund Kachi, so no flukes there.
Yeah, he's in great form. We'll be keeping a close eye on table 3 and his encounter this afternoon. Should we talk about Jason Shaw? Because he is a man who is desperate for a UK Open title. The world number 9 probably liking how his week's gone so far.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you know, he's won the Hanoi Open. He's probably not done as well as he should have done, and I mean that with all the respect, because Jason Shaw is a supreme talent. We know what he can do in the Mosconi Cup. He wants to do it in these events, in the individual events. He should have won more on tour, but you know, what a couple of days he's got coming up here.
He's up against Nguyen Antoine this afternoon of Vietnam. How much of a threat is he?
Oh, very much a threat. He's a guy that's improved in all ways. He's a very good shot maker. he's going to stay aggressive, which he's a fun guy to watch. But Jason, as long as he has a good start, I think he's in a great place to move forward.
Okay, I think that's probably just about enough talking for the moment, because the players are ready, we're ready. It is time for the last 16.
Welcome to the Telford International Centre's Matchroom Pool presents you the 9-Ball UK Open. Well, over the next 2 days, we're going to be finding out who our champion will be. And it's time to welcome the remaining 16 players into the arena. Let's play 9-Ball. Let's get our players into the table. Up first, let's hear it for Fraser Patrick. Huang Nam Pham. Mateus Niagoki. Win Antoine. Georgie Georgiev. Alexa Baselge. Tyler Steyer. Duong Kwa Kwang. Naoyuki Oi. Carlo Biado. Jonas Suto. Victor Zielinski. Piers Lobutis. Mickey Kraus. Aloysius Yapp. And the eagle-eyed Jason Shaw. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if I could ask you to all please stand, if you can, for the national anthem of the United Kingdom.
Is trending. I think Jonas Suto has been trending lately. He's won 2 smaller ranking events. He's a young man that's really trying to do it. I'm going to go with UK's own Jason Shaw. I think it's time for him to hoist something on his homeland.
That would be a very popular winner with the fans here as well. And it's great to see the Junior Open competitors as well having their picture taken, or getting in to have their picture taken with the last 16. It's so important, isn't it, that we have these junior competitions running alongside these big major tournaments to give the future generation a real taste of what's in store for them down the line.
Yeah, absolutely. Carlo Biado trying to peek his head over some of the taller juniors. But yeah, and this week it's been special because we've seen some of the juniors that have played in some of the past junior opens transition into playing into the major events now, making that 17, 18-year-old transition into the pro ranks. And it's been a special thing. It's going to be a lot of great memories for these youngsters and the top pros.
Oh, that particular young man with his thumb up as well. Could barely see over the table, but a fantastic player nonetheless. Jeremy, thanks you very much for the moment. We're going to get this picture taken. We're going to get the players warming up. Don't go anywhere, because after a very short break, the last 16 of the UK Open Pool Championship will be getting underway.
If you want to make it, then you can take it, but you better get in the zone. If you want to make it, then you can take it, but you better get in the zone.
Well, what a last 16 lineup it is. Only 8 of them, though, can go through the quarterfinals. First up on table 1, it's Aloysius Yapp against the former US Open champion Carlo Biado in what is an encounter between 2 Reyes Cup teammates. They won't be so friendly, though, this afternoon. Let's head over to commentary and join Carl Boys alongside Phil Yates.
Thanks very much, Hannah. Really looking forward to the whole weekend. It should be something special. What a truly international gathering here at the International Centre. 12 nations still represented in the last 16. 30 nations were represented in the last 64 yesterday. The pool really is cosmopolitan, and it's also, these days, total quality right down the rankings. Aloysius Yapp just going through his practice rack. All of the players are allowed one of these. And I'm just going to remind you, Carl, what I said on commentary. At 10 o'clock on Tuesday morning when this tournament began, my pick for this, as you will attest, was Aloysius Yapp.
It was indeed, Phil. I believe you're the only commentator who's still got a player left. I picked Joshua Filler. He bowed out yesterday. It's a great pick though. What a player Yapp is. Really enjoy watching Yapp. He's very smooth on the cue. He's got all the shots. Good with the cue ball as well. He's got good cue ball control.
Yeah, I think when it comes to technique, he is superior to Biado, but when it comes to tactical presence and knowledge, Biado takes some beating.
Yeah, you're gonna see complete contrast in styles in this match. As Carlo Biado, he's got a more decorated CV than his opponent. He's a former World 9-ball champion, former US Open champion.
Well, every single winner of the UKO has been, at the time of capturing the title, under the age of 25. So Carlo Biado, at the age of 41, would significantly buck that trend. As for Aloysius Yapp, he turned 29 only last week. He's the number 5 on the World 9-ball Tour ranking. Biado, number 19. A really tough one to call. What I will say with Biado, he's had a strange old time actually in Telford. It's been either battle or breeze. He's had a couple of very one-sided victories, but also 2 real nail-biters. And yesterday, in the last 32 against Simon Corral, he was forced to stave off quite a concerted fight back. He led 6-0. In the end, he was relieved to come through 10-6. Both, though, Carl, are unbeaten.
Yeah, they both look like a couple of Formula One drivers and all. Look at all the logos they've got on the shirts, Phil.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, they're big stars in their own nations, Singapore and the Philippines. And pool, we cannot overstate just how big it is in the continent of Asia.
Yeah, Carlo Biado is very well known in the Philippines. I remember going years ago for the World 9-ball Championships in 2007 in Manila, and before I went over there, Phil, people were telling me Ephraim Hayes is famous, and obviously coming from the pool world, that don't really exist. They were right. This is the lag nearest to the top rail. Will break first, and that's going to be Aloysius Yapp.
By his standards, a very poor lag from Biado. Referee for this one is Julian Roper. It is
the first round.
A race to 10.
Aloysius Yapp to break.
Whatever lead Aloysius Yapp gets, if indeed he does move in front, he will never feel comfortable. Their most high-profile meeting was the US Open final in 2021. Yapp, who was playing and breaking brilliantly that week, went into an 8-3 lead. He didn't win another rack. Biado won the next 10 to prevail 13-8.
Probably go forward with a high right cue ball here. Spin the cue ball off 3 rails. Then it'll come down towards the 8 ball. It's all about how hard you hit the ball here. That looks pretty good.
Aloysius Yapp wins the
On
rack.
so many occasions when a player scratches at this level, that is basically the end of the rack, certainly when the balls are as open as they were there. So Carlo Biado, he had a couple of big wins over David Black and Bessos Sparhiu, 9-1 and 9-0, but otherwise he's been forced to fight hard. Beat Landon Hollingsworth 9-7 in his second match. That could have gone either way. Most certainly when he beat Mieszko Fortunski 10-9. And that match against Simon Corral yesterday, that was an arduous one in the end.
This was the shot where he scratched. He tried to play it off the top rail and kind of just missed the 9 ball. Just got a little bit too much into it. It's nothing too concerning, just early doors in this match.
These things happen. As for Aloysius Yapp, well, he's not really had a massively close match. The most he was pushed was by the defending champion Robbie Capito in the last 64. Lost 10-7 did Capito. Other than that, it's been not breezing through, but no great sweat.
Rack 2, Aloysius Yapp to break, leading by 1 rack to 0.
Aloysius Yapp is not complaining.
Yeah, and just a quick scan around the table. It's hard to see where this could go wrong. This is what is known in the trade as a roadmap. It means all the balls are in the open, you've just got to control the cue ball. These two have got history, Phil, haven't they? US Open final.
Yeah, what a great final it was. Talked about the fight back earlier, and worth also mentioning the standard on display in that final. And again, just emphasising the prestige of the US Open. Massive. When Biado won it, he was only the second Filipino to get his name on that trophy. The other one, of course, was the great Efren Reyes.
He's not had a great deal to do, Yapp, in the opening couple of racks, because he's been gifted ball in hand twice. He's still got to knock the balls in, but this is just giving him that table time where the back arm can start to warm up, just because simply you're potting balls. Wanted to find the bottom rail there, then he was guaranteed a perfect angle. I think he's just got a small one, so he can force this one out.
Table 3, it is Bulgaria against Scotland. Georgi Georgiev against Fraser Patrick. Georgiev has won the opening rack. What a story it's been, though, from Fraser Patrick.
Yeah, this is Fraser at the table. He's a lefty, a little bit like the other Brit that's left in the tournament, Jason Shaw. Can he knock this one in? He's a former snooker professional, and he's just shown why. Cued it beautifully, Phil, off the top rail.
Yeah, if you're a snooker fan, this will ring true and tell you just how good he is. He's been to a couple of last 16s in ranking events, which is no mean feat. Highest ever ranking, world number 75. And among his victims, when he played pro snooker, the likes of Jimmy White. He beat the Whirlwind, he beat 2015 world champion Stuart Bingham and former world number 3 James Watanabe.
Just lost the cue ball a little bit there. You don't want to be near the rail. You can see the snooker plate in him because he's got a long pause at the back. But he's knocked it in. And he's tied it. It's 1 apiece over there on table 3. Big day for Fraser Patrick.
It most certainly is. And when the World Cup comes back on the calendar, what about Team Scotland, Carl? Patrick and Shaw.
Rack 3, Aloysius Yapp to break.
Yeah, and if they both keep
Leading by 2
winning,
racks to 0.
they can play in the semi-finals of the UK Open. Anyway, back to the main table. It's Yapp to break in rack 3.
So close to a scratch that. What a massive difference a few millimetres made.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it nearly went in, but it did get kicked, so he held his hand up. But it wasn't a bad break, so put that hand away, Yapp. He might be a little apology, as if to say I got a bit fortunate, but he'll be delighted, don't worry about that. And the red 3 and the green 6 is going to be a combo after this shot. He does have a little bit of work to do in this rack. He's got to make sure he controls the red 3 here and the cue ball. He shouldn't miss the combo, that's pretty easy, but it's making sure you get on the next shot. He's going to need to put the extension on the cue. He's okay though, because he can play this with a bit of left spin and draw it back down the left side of the table. He's got to get past that 8 ball, otherwise he'll be hooked. You know, all the players in the modern era, they've got all types of different size extensions now. Back in the day, you didn't even have one. Now they carry about 4 or 5 with them. Of pool, because we want to see them type of shots.
Let me quickly tell you, the aforementioned Fraser Patrick 2-1 up on Georgi Georgiev. From here, it should be 3-0 Yapp. Well, they say you don't want movement behind a pocket. The fly was getting in the way there.
Yeah, that fly is going to cause some problems at some point in this match. Not the start Biado wanted.
Aloysius Yapp wins the round.
Contrasting emotions for these two. It is an ideal start for Yapp. It is a nightmare start for Biado.
Let's move, let me knock it up. Not got a limit, no obstacle. Up in the middle, gotta heat it up. Got a taste for the game, now I eat it up. We crazy, it's how we live it. Nobody told me nothing. If you wanna make it, then you can take it, but you better get in the zone.
If you want to make it, then you can take it, but you better get in the zone.
The tournament is the second
Rack
major World 9-Ball
Aloysius
Tour
Yapp
ranking
to break.
event of the
Leading
year.
by 3 racks to 0.
Joshua Filler was dominant in the first, the European Open in Sarajevo. This tournament now absolutely wide open. Early on in the last 16, Aloysius Yapp has made his presence felt.
Yeah, and it's with the help from his opponent. A couple of scratches, cue ball control, one ball disappears, but he's not going to be clearing the table in this visit. Julian Roper is just getting rid of that little bit of thin plastic. That's what we call a magic rack. That gets all the balls touching. It's a neat little gadget. Doesn't take too long, very professional, these referees.
Fraser Patrick now 3-1 up on table 3 against Georgi Georgiev. The Glaswegian coming from nowhere into title contention.
Yeah, he'll just keep gaining more confidence. Yeah, there's a total of 4 matches being played right now. This needs to spin in behind the brown. He's overspun the cue ball a little bit. Let me tell you, if you've never played 9-ball pool, I can't stress how difficult the safety game can be. Because the pockets are a bit more generous, you have to get the cue ball welded up to the balls on the table, otherwise you leave opportunities, bank shots and these type of shots. I don't think he's going to go for this ball at the rail. That's more like it.
Yes, a much more characteristic hook from Biado.
Extension called.
I think he's got the jump cue in his hand. This is where a player can strike down on the cue ball, and with the jump cue in hand, it pops up in the air. You can't scoop it, so he's hitting roughly around centre of the cue ball, but you've got to get that bridge hand raised up just like that. This is a chance now, Phil.
Yeah, he's been kept quiet in terms of offense. But eventually, doesn't matter how good your tactical game is, eventually you've got to start knocking balls in. That does not bode well. The cueing was really unconvincing.
Even though it was 3-0, I wasn't massively worried for Carlo, but after seeing that, I am. That was a classy shot to get on this pink 4 into the side.
The middle pockets are very tight, far tighter than your normal 9-ball pool table. You can see there, the pocket entrance is tiny. Good cueing needed, good cueing produced.
I bet he's in a little bit of shock as well. He knows how good Biado is, but he started off very slow here. This is going to dress up perfect. Got a nice angle.
No issues whatsoever. Biado, though, has got plenty. 4-0.
Aloysius Yapp wins the rack.
Now on table 4, it is the all-Vietnamese clash between Duong Quoc Quang, the biggest pool star from that country, against this man, Phuong Nam Pham. Two-1 it is to the outsider.
Yeah, it's a funny one, Phil, because we're so new to Vietnam, the World 9-Ball Tour. Obviously, we've been twice for the Hanoi Open, and we've seen how crazy it is, the fans and the pool halls. It's unbelievable. We kind of don't know if these two have got any history on the table. We don't know if Nam Pham has got the better of Duong Quoc Quang in matches, do we? But it's a very intriguing matchup. As Duong misses the long bank, so looking good for 3-1 here.
Yeah, what we do know is the winner of this match will play the winner of the one we're watching on the main table, Biado and Yapp, in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, you can see in the distance, that's the young girl from America, Savannah Easton. She's playing in the junior event. She's going along nicely. Really good to see the juniors playing alongside the best pros in the world. What a platform.
In this sport, we've got the PLP, Premier League pool. What about PNP? Phuong Nam Pham, 3-1 up.
Rack 5, Aloysius Yapp to break, leaded by 4 racks to 0.
What a view of the break this is.
Carlo Biado ploughing a lone furrow for the Philippines in the last 16. Many of their leading players, very unfortunately, weren't able to get the required visa to travel here. So the likes of Yoan Chua, James Arenas, the two World Cup winning Filipinos, not able to participate. And the way things are going here, Filipino interest might be ending a little earlier than we thought. Look at that, 35 balls potted by Aloysius Yapp for just 5 from Biado. And that's what can happen even at the very highest level. We saw it in the US Open a couple of years ago, where you were there, Carl, you saw the match and you couldn't believe your eyes when Ko Ping Chung, he potted every single ball in the contest. Yeah, sometimes needing 2, maybe even 3 chances to get the job done, but it is 5 out of 5, and Aloysius Yapp is halfway to victory and a place in the quarterfinals. Really good career already for Aloysius Yapp, and a really good performance in this event. Obviously, the big result was beating defending champion Robbie Capito 10-7. As you said, Carl, tableside when you were chatting with Hannah at the top of the show, he was a little lucky in that match. He had some really good rolls. It wasn't the easiest contest next against Nicholas Tan, a fellow Singaporean and a really good friend of his. Tan actually competed well in the first half of the match, but then Yapp pulled away. So he arrived in this round having won 47 racks here for the loss of only 21, which is a really good strike rate. Also unbeaten so far, Carlo Biado. That 9-0 whitewash of Besar Spahiu was good going, because Spahiu plays for Albania in the World Cup. Mieszko Fortunski, his next victim, from Poland. He was runner-up in the UK Open last year. He just about squeezed through that, and then against the 20-year-old from Poland, Simon Corral, he was 6-0 up Biado, and at one point it looked as though Corral could pull off an almighty recovery.
Rack 6, Aloysius Yapp to break, leading by 5 racks to 0.
The problem is, Phil, when you're 5 down, 6 down, whenever you're down big in a match, you kind of feel like them little things don't go your way.
Did get the 1 in the centre, but he did get the 5. Just a pity for Yapp that the cue ball didn't travel slightly more past the red 3. His path to the 1 completely blocked.
Push out called.
You hit it all wrong. At this level, you cannot afford to scratch in play the amount of times Biado has done. When Yapp played the push out, he tried to make the pink 4 awkward. He didn't, so it's turned out in his favour. Yeah, the pink 4 is the lowest ball on the table. The 5 has disappeared. So as long as you hit the lowest ball first, you can pot another ball and you stay at the table.
It is 5-1 Fraser Patrick over Georgi Georgiev. 5-1 for him. 5-2 for Jonas Suter Camino over Matthias Snigotsky. But the first to 6 looks like being Aloysius Yapp. Right now, Carlo is putting the O in Biado. He's 6-0 down. Aloysius Yapp in total command.
If you want to make it, then you can take it, but you better get in the zone.
Well, the title and relegation might have been decided, but there is still plenty to play for in the Premier League in terms of European qualification for next season. The Saturday night football is Bournemouth against Aston Villa. Villa are very much in the hunt for a Champions League spot. 8th place Bournemouth also in the hunt as well for European football, as are Nottingham Forest, who on Super Sunday take on the relegated Leicester City. Forest just 2 points adrift of Chelsea above them in 5th, and 5 spots are playing in the Champions League. Don't forget this coming new season, I should say. And as well, tomorrow, the second game on Super Sunday, the champions Liverpool welcome Arsenal at home from 4:15. All those matches for you live on Sky Sports Premier League.
Rack 7, Aloysius Yapp to break, leading by 6 racks to 0.
Well, Julian Roper has put it in a nutshell. Aloysius Yapp 6-0 up. Biado, his head must be in a spin.
Yeah, if you've just turned on the pool, a lot of poor ones.
Not a lot poor from Fraser Patrick, the Glaswegian, now 6-1 up on Georgi Georgiev.
Good look at the blue two. He's got to get down table. Probably for a shot on the red 3 into the right centre pocket. How's the pace? It looks good, you know. Oh, it's perfect because he's not come past the potting line. So the natural angle, the cue ball wants to come down the bottom end of the table. That's where his next ball is. Jeremy Jones at the top of the show, Phil, he said, if you're not quite on your game, you will get beat. And that is exactly what's happened so far in this match.
Late on in the tournament, though, because obviously the cream rise to the top, we don't very often see a duck egg. When they met in that US Open final in Atlantic City in 2021, Biado won the last 10 racks from 8-3 down. He could still pull this out of the fire, but it's looking increasingly unlikely.
Yeah, Aloysius Yapp has come into the UK Open in a little bit of form, hasn't he, Phil?
Yeah, he's a very consistent campaigner these days. Of course, he's won the International Open, as you mentioned earlier on, Carl, in each of the last 2 years. And I thought the way he played in the Reyes Cup, he won the most valuable player for Team Asia. And that was really appropriate because he was so cool, particularly in securing the clinching point when Europe were on the comeback trail.
And just last weekend, got to the final of the Scottish Open, losing out to Mickey Krause. Mickey Krause is also through to the final 16. He plays in the next session against Piers Labutas.
Aloysius Yapp.
6 becomes 7, and right now, Carlo Biado at 6s and 7s. Now on table 3, I think this is one of the great stories on the World 9-Ball Tour we've seen so far. Fraser Patrick 6-1 up on Georgi Georgiev, but the Bulgarian is very experienced, more experienced in 9-ball than his opponent, and he's at the table in a must-win rack 8.
Yeah, the pink 4, if that squeezes past that green 6 into that far corner, that's what he's played for. Yeah, that was a good shot. Controlled the cue ball as well for the purple, and at this level, this should be the rack over.
Been some noteworthy pull from the Bulgarian players here. Spasian Spasov, he was the one on day 1 who eliminated the US Mosconi Cup player Shane Walford. Walford came here from his home in Virginia, played 2 matches, lost them both, and immediately departed. On table 2, Jonas Suter Camino from the island of Ibiza. Well, tomorrow night we might have a party because he's 7-2 up on Matthias Nigotsky and perfectly in for 8-2. Came into the commentary box yesterday, did Jonas, when you were swanning off somewhere, Carl, and what a nice lad.
Yeah, well, we had professional boxer Conor Walker pop into the UK Open, so I was showing him the ropes, showing him around the venue. Had a game of pool with him.
I'm led to believe he beat you.
well, I mean, that's a strong statement. It was more, I let him have a few too many shots just to see what he was about. I mean, he is a boxer, Phil.
Yeah, good move. So Georgi Georgiev now 6-2 down. Can confirm Jonas Suter Camino 8-2 up on Matthias Nigotsky. And Duong Quoc Quang from Vietnam is taking on his fellow countryman Phuong Nam Pham. That is 4-3 to Phuong. All of these matches to try and determine our quarter-finalists in the second session this evening. Still to come, Piers Labutis against Mickey Kraus, Jason Shaw against Win Antoine. That's on the main table, of course. Alexa Pachelch against Victor Zelinsky, and Neu Kioi against the